Hi, I'm Amber Mack, and thank you so much for joining us today for the Robotics and AI Symposium. We have a fantastic day ahead, and we want this to be as interactive as possible. So we encourage you to leave your questions and comments in the chat, and we will get to those as much as possible. I'm here in studio in Toronto, and I'm joined by Chris behind the scenes. So we want to make sure that you have a wonderful day ahead. Now, I'd like to introduce for opening remarks Dr. Bruce Mitchell, who is a corporate leader and entrepreneur, a philanthropist, the chairman and CEO of Paramin Industries, a proud graduate of Queen's Engineering and Harvard, and a former member of the Queen's Board of Trustees. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mitchell to kick us off with a few words.
Good morning, and thank you, Amber Mack, for that kind introduction. I'm thrilled to be included in today's program. Welcome to everyone who is attending this important inaugural Robotics and AI Symposium, organized and hosted by the Ingenuity Labs at Queen's University. It's good to see, well, virtually, so many from the local area in Eastern Ontario, as well as a number of countries around the world. Thank you for attending. This is a truly exciting time for those involved with robotics and AI. While robots certainly have been around for a while, AI has really only emerged into our collective conscience during the past 5 years, and it is impacting our lives in unexpected ways. Just a few days ago, I learned that Beethoven's 10th Symphony, which was never completed during his lifetime, has now been finished using AI technology. Who would have thought that Beethoven would still somehow be creating symphonies almost 200 years after his death? But it gives us new music to enjoy and a whole new perspective on that Chuck Berry and Beatles hit song, Roll Over Beethoven. Yes, these are exciting times. Just think that if you were alive in, say, just 100 years, maybe your closest friend might be a general intelligence robot who could be smarter than you, perhaps even a lot smarter. Or you might have a collective of special household staff robots busy managing your households. Which one of us wouldn't want a well-trained, non-complaining household staff? My wife's been trying to get me to be that for years, but I seem to have failed the training part. And this is an exciting time at Queen's to be holding this symposium and showcasing its Ingenuity Labs, where so much creativity is being applied. Why is this happening at Queen's? Most of you know that Canada has been an important contributor to the development of AI. It attracted 3 pioneering researchers in the 1980s and 90s to come to Canada to pursue their research in this area: Jeff Hinton, Yoshua Bengio, and Richard Sutton. 2 of these AI stars received the prestigious AM Turing Award in 2018, and together with Yan Lichun are sometimes referred to as the godfathers of AI. They created centers or hubs of AI research here in Canada: the Vector Institute at the University of Toronto, Mila at l'Université de Montréal, and Amy at the University of Alberta. Each of these universities is now ranked in the top 25 worldwide in machine learning programs, and Queen's aspires to join them. This symposium is part of the emergence of Queen's University onto the world stage of research and development of intelligent machines and their use to improve the quality of life. Please enjoy your day and the learnings and lively debates to come. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Kevin Deluzio, Dean of Engineering and Applied Science at Queen's. Kevin began his academic career at Dalhousie University as a faculty member in the School of Biomechanical Engineering, with a cross appointment in the Department of Surgery. He established the Dynamics of Human Motion Laboratory, focusing his research on the biomechanical factors of knee osteoarthritis and its treatment. In addition to being Dean of Engineering and Applied Science at Queen's, he is also head of its Human Mobility Research Laboratory and a professor in its Mechanical and Materials Department. Kevin has served on the executive of both the Canadian Orthopedic Research Society and the Canadian Society of Biomechanics. A fellow of the Canadian Academy of Engineering, Kevin is the current chair of Engineering Deans Canada. To share more about today's exciting program, please welcome Dr. Kevin Deluzio.
Thank you very much, Bruce, for that welcome. It's great to have you here and to be with all of you today on this exciting day. Again, Dr. Mitchell, I really want to thank you for your support and vision for research at Queen's. Ingenuity Labs Research Institute is very much here because of your vision and support. You know, and I think of your remarks and how our world is being transformed before us, and to be involved in that and to see that through this group of researchers is really exciting. You know, this symposium is an opportunity to profile the work of Ingenuity Labs. It is the university's newest research institute, and this day is an opportunity to demonstrate what Ingenuity Labs is about. It's a coming out party of sorts. And while we'd love to do this in person, of course, this global pandemic prevents that, but nonetheless, the energy around and the ability to gather us all from, indeed, around the world for this is really important. And so let me say to all the guests here, on behalf of the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science, I extend to you a very warm welcome to Queen's and to the Ingenuity Labs here. We have, I think, about 200 people registered here, a mix of people from industry, from academics, undergraduates, and graduate students. In fact, I want to extend a very special welcome to Jonathan Swain and his students at from one of our local high schools. He runs a computer science and STEM program at Bay Ridge Secondary School, and I think the students along with him will be deciding the People's Choice Awards for the thesis competition. And again, looking at the program today, it's an extremely exciting day. The organizers have put together a mix of, wonderful keynote speaker that's following me, as well as debates, panelists, and a really exciting opportunity to be able to gather through this tool they're using, Gather Town, during the middle portion of the day, to be able to network as we'd like to do in these kinds of events. I want to welcome you all here, and I want to thank you for joining us for this day. And I'm excited about learning more about the work that's going on at Ingenuity Labs throughout the day. It's now my pleasure to turn this over to Dr. Josh Marshall. Dr. Marshall is the director of Ingenuity Labs. He's a professor in the Department of Electrical and Computing Engineering, and his research focuses on autonomous vehicles, particularly in harsh environmental applications. Josh has provided exceptional leadership in guiding Ingenuity Labs through these foundational years. Today is a chance to celebrate and profile the achievements of him and his entire team of researchers, collaborators, students, and other supporters at Ingenuity Labs. I'm excited about this day, and I'm more excited about what the future holds with this research institute and the discoveries that they will make to make all of our lives a bit easier. Off to you, Josh.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Kevin, for the good introduction. And I hope everybody can see my slide. I have a slide up here and I'm gonna show a few slides. So good morning, everyone from near and far. I understand there are participants obviously locally, but we have quite a few participants from around the world. So it's great to have you all here with us at our what we hope will become an annual Ingenuity Labs Robotics and AI Symposium. I'm coming to you live from our open research facilities here at Mitchell Hall on the Queen's main campus, where we collaborate with researchers and companies from Canada and around the world on problems in the domains of applied AI and robotics. So for those who are from afar, and you may have not had the opportunity to, or the privilege of visiting us here at Queen's, Let me give you just a quick and short introduction. So we're located here in beautiful Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Queen's University was founded in 1841, and we're one of Canada's top research universities, with a highly selective student population, around 23,000 undergrads and 5,000 graduate students. And I thought I'd take just a moment to show you where we are on a quick map, because some people aren't necessarily familiar, maybe just to orient yourself. And we really wish we could be having this symposium in person, and you might even pretend that you're in your mind, at least, that you are here with us today. And in future, we hope that you will be. So Kingston lies sort of equidistant from Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa, as well as Ithaca, New York, if you're perhaps at Cornell University, and I understand we have some guests from Cornell here today. So now I want to take now that you know where I am, I want to take a moment to recognize that Queens and Kingston are situated on traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territory. And to acknowledge this territory is to recognize its long history, one that of course predates Ingenuity Labs, Queen's University's own storied history, and most importantly, the establishment of the earliest European colonies on this continent. We also have to acknowledge the territory's significance to its indigenous peoples who lived and continue to live here, and whose practices and spiritualities were tied to the land here at Kingston, and continue to develop in a relationship with other inhabitants today. I'm thankful to be able to live and learn and raise my family, shown here on these beautiful lands. And our hope here at Ingenuity Labs is that the research that we do developing new tools and techniques using artificial intelligence, robotics, techniques in human-machine interaction, that these will serve to enhance human productivity, safety, performance, and mostly quality of life for all peoples, with respect for all peoples and all walks of life, and together in harmony with this planet that we all share. And at Ingenuity Labs, our objective is to facilitate some of these complex interactions that happen between humans and engineered machines and our infrastructure, as well as their natural and social environments. I mean, we want to do this in positive ways, and we're actively looking for collaborators on many fronts. And part of today's reason is about that. And to show that we're serious about this vision, we're putting Ingenuity Labs funds towards directly seeding strategic collaborations with industry partners and other external partners on research projects that span multiple AI and robotics subdomains. And you're going to hear discussions about some of those today. And if you're interested in accessing these funds, perhaps you're an industry partner out there and you're looking for a collaborator, drop us a line, and we're happy to talk about accessing what we call our Research Opportunity Seed Fund. Okay, now for the fun part. We have a rock star lineup today of speakers and panelists. Dr. Amy Lutfi will join us today at around 9 o'clock. We'll start that, so in about 10 minutes. We might give you a few minutes to just take a quick washroom break or grab a cup of coffee before Amy starts her talk. And this talk, I think, may shift your perspective about how we tackle AI and robotics research here in Canada and the US, if you're local, by contrasting that with what's happening in Sweden. Amy's a Canadian by birth, but originally trained at UNB before she moved to Sweden and for her graduate studies, and Amy's made waves in Scandinavia through her work on semantics for robotics. So that's up at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., we start our robotics panel or debate, whichever you prefer, which features two Ingenuity Labs research. We'll have Amy Wu and Sydney GVG, Amy from Mechanical Materials Engineering and Sydney from the School of Computing, together with Tara Javidi, who's from the University of California at San Diego, and the always engaging Greg Dudek will join us from the McGill Center for Intelligent Machines and Samsung AI in Montreal. So that's up just after Amy at 10 a.m. And then there'll be a break in the middle where we have our panel discussion, our posters and other activities over the lunch hour. Our AI debate happens at 2 p.m., featuring Frank Rujic from the University of Toronto and Pasquale Minervini from University College London and NEC Laboratories in Europe, as well as Ingenuity Labs associate Tracy Jenkin, who is a Vector affiliate, and Canada Research Chair in Biomedical and Computing and Informatics, Amber Simpson, who is from the School of Computing at Queen's. So that's up at 2 p.m. That'll be an interesting debate. And between all that, you'll find, like I said, the fun and gather town, as Bruce mentioned earlier, posters, exhibitor sessions, We're going to have a 3-minute thesis competition, which is going to be judged by our Kingston Mayor, Brian Patterson, and AVPR Betsy Donald, as well as our own Associate Dean, Amir Pham. So thanks to Bruce again and Kevin for helping to start the conversation this morning, and from all of us at Ingenuity Labs. We hope you enjoy our lineup of presentations and debates, and that you'll contribute positively to today's discussions about how we can use and develop tools and techniques of robotics and AI to better our lives together. And at that, I'll pass it back to our super duper host and MC, Amber Mack, to lead us into the next phase and maybe grab a coffee before our 9 a.m. start.
All right.